Hey YouTube, I'm Rick. Today we're going to take a look at 10 real UFO sightings caught on camera. If you're new to this channel and you like what you see, go down below, get on Team Look Now TV by clicking that subscribe button, click that notification bell button. This way you don't miss any new Look Now TV videos. UFOs, they are very popular. Some people are skeptics, while other people are dedicated believers in the field of ufology. Without a doubt, unidentified flying objects have been witnessed by many people from around the world. From former presidents to icons like the late great Muhammad Ali to even a few NASA astronauts that have reported seeing UFOs while on space missions. Entire careers have been created around the UFO phenomenon, whether it's an author's books or TV shows or internet famous YouTube channels and websites that are dedicated to featuring UFOs. The lines between real and fake get muddy as countless hoaxes flood the internet, adding to all the confusion. I wanted to dig a little deeper. I wanted to reintroduce some UFO videos that were not seen enough. I wanted to find the most credible, without a doubt, authentic, possibly genuine UFO evidence caught on camera moments that really cannot be explained beyond any reasonable doubt. The following videos are amongst my favorite evidence of UFOs. Most of these videos were recorded long ago, before YouTube, before Google, and some of the videos were caught on camera before many of us were even born. The following videos and NASA photo could very well be genuine UFO evidence. Millions of people are very curious about the idea of extraterrestrials visiting Earth, and so am I. So here we go, guys. Here are 10 real UFO sightings caught on camera. Number 10.
Ok, sí está Night Vision. Checa cómo se hizo, se hizo como el platillo ya.
I'm surprised that this particular video didn't get a lot of coverage. This is Tijuana, Mexico on September 7, 2012. This UFO video, in my opinion, doesn't look like computer-generated graphics, and my other best real UFO sightings coming up, you'll see much older videos before the home computer, before computer-generated graphics were accessible to the entire world with today's technology. Here we see what looks like a disc. It even has the slight bounce effect you would get when you're not holding a tripod and you zoom in from far away. This is very hard to fake. I believe this is a real unidentified flying object. This is definitely not a drone, it's much too big. Unfortunately, there is not too much known about this video, but the original video, I'll put in a video description below, is over 5 minutes long. We don't know what it is. At one point I thought it might be a blimp, but then I realized that it wasn't. Unidentified flying object does not necessarily always mean alien spacecraft. Number 9. This was taken on an Apollo mission. Astronauts themselves would call these moon pigeons for a reason. A couple of years ago, I produced short films called the NASA UFO Files, and this was included. You can see an orb flying across the moon. There is no explanation. Trained NASA astronauts have also witnessed UFOs and went on record about it. Number 8. On the 11th of January, 1973, Peter Day, employed as a surveyor, was driving towards Aylesbury in the UK when he witnessed an amber light near some treetops about a mile away from his location. The object seemed to be pulsating. Luckily, Peter had a film camera with him at the time and managed to film the UFO. The footage was examined by Kodak and passed as genuine. A jet crashed on the same day in North Crawley, 3.5 miles east of Newport Pagnell, Buckinghamshire, in the United Kingdom. It's reported the crash took place much later than when the UFO film was taken. There were no fatalities. Was the jet in the area investigating the UFO sighting which might have showed up on radar? There were also independent witnesses to this UFO. A television crew filmed a UFO observed by 5 witnesses besides the cameraman who filmed it while flying on the airplane. It was observed by 2 ground radar sets and also the radar on the airplane.
We've got an object about a mile behind us and it's following us.
The object followed the film crew. They said more objects appeared and there was a formation of UFOs behind them. They said one of the brightest UFOs lit up the clouds around it. The cameraman said it appeared to be a flying saucer shape. Skeptics suggest that they saw Venus, but most of the film was recorded more than a half hour before Venus could have been visible.
It's really getting a bit frightening up here. There's a whole formation of unidentified flying objects.
You want to know what the most mysterious part of this film is? There's an unexplainable frame. The UFO supposedly changes shape and color from red to white. American Navy physicist Dr. Bruce Maccabee reviewed the film. He rejected the theory that the UFO video showed birds, ships, or meteors. His conclusion was no known explanation can account for all the facts.
It's such a bright light, it's lighting up the clouds around it. This is by far the best of the unidentified flying objects.
Number
we've seen
6.
so far.
On August 15th, 1950, Nick Mariana, a manager of a minor league baseball team, recorded these UFOs. He was at the ballpark where his team played. He checked the wind by looking at a local smokestack because his outfielders would use the wind on defensive play. Nick looked up and saw what he described as two silvery objects moving swiftly out of the northwest, flying directly south. He described the objects as very bright and to be flying at an altitude of about 10,000 feet in the air. He also stated they were very bright like a polished silver. He said they were both the same size and traveling at the same rate of speed, which were much slower than jets that flew by after he filmed the discs. He had his secretary grab his camera, which he kept in a dashboard of his car. He asked the secretary, did she see anything? She said yes, two silvery spheres. He said when he picked the UFOs up in the viewfinder that the objects were two discs that appeared to be spinning like a top about 50 feet across and about 50 yards apart. He couldn't see any kind of exhaust, wings, or fuselage, and there was no cabin, no odor, and no sound, except for a whooshing sound when he first saw them. He filmed the objects until they disappeared into the blue sky. The objects also moved counter to the wind that day. In the 1980s, the Hudson Valley, New York area became a hotbed for UFO activity. On July 24th, 1984, at 10:20 p.m., Bob Pozzueli and his wife recorded a video of a UFO in Brewster, New York. Let's take a closer look.
Oh, good God.
What do you think?
I don't know.
About plane.
I'm going to tell you something, honey. I don't know what the hell it is.
It's rotating.
Yeah, it's turning very, very slowly.
At one point, the UFO was supposedly heading west and approached the Indian Point nuclear reactor. The object or objects they caught on camera made no noise and flew very slow and in a very straight line. At one point, they said the UFO was rotating. The UFO or UFOs was seen over 3 New York counties by dozens of witnesses. In 1963, James Waters is filming out of the window of a vehicle. In the video, there are 2 UFOs. Toward the middle of the extreme right of the frame, you'll see a second UFO that appears for a short amount of time. The UFO changes shape from frame to frame. No jet fighter in 1962 could have achieved this speed at that low of an altitude. I'm assuming James Waters was filming on a small handheld camera. He was focused on the wide landscape. James Waters got very lucky to have captured this extraordinary once-in-a-lifetime moment. This is one of my favorite UFO sightings that many people have missed. I'm hopefully introducing it here today to an entire new generation that may never have seen this video. I'm sure skeptics will argue that this is some sort of film anomaly, such as lens flare. 2008 in Keburgaz, Turkey, there were multiple reports of UFO sightings across the country. A man recorded some of the clearest footage of a UFO in recent years while it was hovering over the sea. The video camera the man was using was equipped with a telephoto adapter. This allowed him to zoom in on the UFO and reveal details on the alien craft. He was able to zoom in so close that many people claimed that the video reveals 2 aliens that occupy the craft and they are peering out of a porthole in the spaceship. The video was thoroughly analyzed by scientific research centers in Turkey as well as video analysis experts in the US, Brazil, Chile, Japan, and Russia. All of the teams performing analysis on the video came to the very same conclusion, that the video footage was not altered or edited. Some skeptics say that the video is actually the upper deck of a cruise ship being recorded from across the sea. UFO believers have tested this theory and they have provided very compelling evidence that the cruise ship theory does not hold up. So are we looking at a real spaceship with aliens in it, or are we looking at a cruise ship? What do you think? In 1976, in the skies above Britain, a film crew was making a British Airways commercial featuring the legendary Concorde. A UFO appears from nowhere. The UFO appears to match the Concorde's speed perfectly. The mysterious object appears to be intelligently controlled. If you watch closely, as I discovered in a previous video about this Concorde UFO case, when the UFO flies up next to the Concorde's wing, you'll see a reflection on the plane's windshield that matches the movement of the UFO. Is this a case of an unknown technology and extraordinary energy emanating light from the UFO? Or is this just wishful thinking from UFO hunters like myself? The flight was filmed with a specially designed periscope camera system, Astrovision, which uses a complex arrangement of lenses and prisms. Alan Tanner, who was part of the original film team, said this can be quite easily mistaken for a UFO. He went on to say that the sun caused an internal reflection and that he doesn't think the object seen on camera is a UFO. Homeland Security captured this UFO video in 2013. The object was filmed over Rafael Hernandez Airport in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. This video is overlaid with a sort of telemetry one would expect from a military or law enforcement thermal image video. It shows an object apparently moving very quickly over land and then into the ocean. It seems to be tumbling or changing shape. It moves over buildings, through trees, and eventually over the ocean. Here's where things get really unusual. The object appears to go in and out of the ocean without slowing down, and at the end of the video, the UFO is either joined by another object or breaks into two. It's really difficult to tell on the video, but many speculate something extraordinary is going on, and this is not a balloon or a drone, and this object is truly an unidentified flying object. Therefore, I'm classifying this as a UFO. All of the primary witnesses have requested anonymity. However, several communications from alleged DHS employees indicated that the video caused quite a stir on the base. Witnesses say they are absolutely certain that the information comes from sources on board the DHS aircraft and the video is genuine. Their investigation also confirmed what they were told. Their sources told them that the UFO incident began about 9:20 p.m. on the evening of April 25, 2013 at the Rafael Hernandez Airport in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. It involved the crew of a DHC-8 turboprop aircraft from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, a division of DHS. The DHC-8 took off on a routine flight, and soon after takeoff they noticed a pinkish to reddish light over the ocean that was in their vicinity and approaching toward the south. The crew was concerned that the tower had not told them about the incoming traffic, so they called it in. The tower told them they also had a visual on the object, but they were unsure of its identity. Once the object got close to land, its lights turned off, but at this time the DHC-8 was able to begin tracking and filming the object with their onboard thermal imaging system. The DHC-8 did not approach the object but circled the area and filmed it. The DHC-8 did not pick up the object on radar. However, their radar was looking downward towards track ships on the ocean, not objects in the sky. According to the source, a flight was delayed by the presence of the object. The research group was able to confirm airport records that a FedEx flight scheduled to leave at 9:10 p.m. was delayed until 9:26 p.m. So what do you think this object is? The researchers also revealed that the object was between 3 to 5 feet in length and its speed varied between approximately 40 miles per hour to 120 miles per hour. Its median speed was roughly 80 miles per hour. The reports go on to note an interesting characteristic at the end of the flight was when it apparently submerged into the ocean, traveled for over a half a mile and then flew back out. According to the report, its speed through the water reached a high of 90 miles per hour, an average of 82.8 miles per hour. One suggestion has been that the object was merely a balloon. However, researchers reject this idea for several reasons. They say the wind speeds at the time were 8 to 13 miles per hour at ground level and 12 to 18 miles per hour at 400 to 3,200 feet. This means the object was moving too fast to be carried by wind currents. It also changed directions from heading south back to north, and it went underwater with minimal loss of speed. Was this a bird? Was this a drone? Was it a balloon? You be the judge. There's many theories about this object, and there's also a lot of conspiracies. What we do know for sure is that this object is one of the most credible UFO sightings caught on camera. STS-115 was flown by Space Shuttle Atlantis and launched on September 9, 2006. Despite initial difficulties because of bad weather and technical issues, the mission was a success. The shuttle performed various duties on the International Space Station and returned to Earth a couple of weeks later, not too long after NASA released details of the mission accompanied by camera footage and still images. One image turned a lot of heads and got people talking. It was taken on a digital still camera by astronaut Daniel Burbank. The photograph is of an object on board the Space Shuttle Atlantis. NASA released it to the public and stated on their website that this object is unidentified space debris. Some people speculate that the unidentified flying object is actually just a blurred out image of a star, and Daniel had the camera set at a long shutter speed. The movement of the spacecraft would cause the star to blur. If that's true, why didn't NASA simply state that? Nobody has ever given an official explanation of what the object might be. That makes this photograph a true, official, unidentified flying object. What do you think? Is this another sign of alien life being covered up by NASA? You be the judge. Thank you to my Patreon supporters. Every contribution helps, no matter how big or small. I really appreciate it. I'll be back soon. See you next time.